At the time, the economy was suffering greatly, and it's something that I really wanted to do, and was to help people. You know, hunger relief is very important. Even today, people are struggling. So
Right.
at the time, I signed a lease on a building in February, March of 2013. And we launched our first distribution in November of that year. It was quite a year, though. It was a struggle getting started. And we were very blessed to be able to get the building that we got. It was a ball training center, actually. So it needed a
Okay.
lot of repairs. So we worked out a deal with the owner of the building that we would do all of the repairs on the building if he could give us a break on the rent and give us time to get started. So in March of that same year, 2013, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with endometrial uterine carcinoma, stage 3 at the time. And it was right after I signed the lease for the building. And the owner agreed to give us 6 months of free rent. It actually
Wow.
started out as 3 months of free rent, but this is how God works in my life and with the
Absolutely.
food bank. And we were, with rezoning issues, we were able to have the time that we needed. I had the time that I needed to go through a major surgery, full total hysterectomy for the cancer, and wasn't given much hope by my doctor at the time. And but God is the ultimate physician, and
Yes.
he worked everything out just as it was supposed to be. And what had happened was with the rezoning issues, it gave me time to take care of my medical issues. I went through a major surgery for that, and then went through radiation therapy. And the very
Wow.
month that I finished radiation therapy, and I had wonderful volunteers, and I call them my army of angels. And God has really
Yes.
brought some amazing people to us to help us get to where we're at even today. And so every day after radiation, I was at that warehouse working on it and getting it ready to launch for distribution. And we found out the day before distribution, we were going to open the doors, that we had to have hot running water. We did not realize that we had to have that before we could open the doors.
Wow.
So I prayed about it, and the volunteers, we had finished everything, the cleaning and organizing and ready for inspections. And so I called around for hot water heaters. We didn't have any more funds. We had put all the funds that we had into the food bank to get it started. And we needed a hot water heater. Well, Harding Plumbing in McDonough, Georgia, Mr. Harding
Yes.
is an amazing man. He
Yes.
called me back that afternoon, and it was after 5 o'clock, and said, are you at the warehouse? And he said, I understand you're looking for a hot water heater. He said, is there, can you tell me a little bit about what you all are going to be doing it for the community? So I told him what the plans were to feed the hungry and to help as many people as we could. And so he said, I'll tell you what, let me call you back. And he called me back a little while later. I continued to pray about it. I had sent my volunteers home for the day, and I sat at a table in the warehouse just praying to the Lord that if this is meant to be, God, we need your help. And Mr. Harding
Yes.
called me back and said, let me ask you something. Are you at the warehouse now? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, I'm sending somebody over with a brand new hot water heater for you right now.
Wow.
And I said, oh, thank you so much. And you are such an angel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thank the Lord for it. And I hung up with Mr. Harding. And a few minutes later, he called back. And after I hung up with him, I thought, okay, Lord, we've got a hot water heater, but I don't have anybody to install it. And I knew that after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I couldn't possibly ask Mr. Harding if he could, help me with that as well. So he called me right back and said, let me ask you something. And this is in the middle of that prayer. And he said, let me ask you something. Do you have anybody to install it? And I said, well, no, sir. I was just sitting here praying about that.
Yes.
So he said, I tell you what, I'm sending my whole crew over to take
Wow.
care of this for you, and they won't go home until the job is done.
Wow.
So thanks to God and Mr. Harding and the wonderful volunteers, we were able to actually pass our inspections the following day, and we launched the following week, which was November 8th of 2013.
Wow.
So, and during that time with the rezoning and my medical issues, we didn't have to pay rent because of the rezoning issues. The owner of the building didn't charge us any rent. So we were it was just all so meant to be, and everything fell into place. And we launched serving 72 families a week. We were getting
Yes.
signups before we opened the doors, and we currently serve over 2,000 families a week today.